Three notorious bandit leaders have reportedly been eliminated in a United States military airstrike carried out inside Nigeria. And this development is already raising serious questions about Nigeria's security structure, government transparency, and the true handling of intelligence at the highest levels. One of the names at the center of this operation is Bello Turji, a man who for years symbolized the failure of the Nigerian state to protect its citizens from armed banditry. According to multiple reports, the US strike targeted known bandit strongholds in the northwest, resulting in the elimination of 3 high-profile figures responsible for mass kidnappings, village raids, killings, and large-scale terror across Zamfara, Sokoto, and surrounding areas. These are not low-level criminals. These are individuals who have openly challenged the authority of the Nigerian state, imposed illegal taxes on communities, and operated with shocking confidence for years. Bello Turji's name alone carries weight. He has repeatedly appeared in videos, granted interviews, threatened communities, and even mocked government efforts to stop him. His operations have displaced thousands, ruined livelihoods, and contributed significantly to the climate of fear in the Northwest. For many Nigerians, the idea that such a figure could be eliminated so swiftly by a foreign military immediately raises a painful question. If he could be located and neutralized now, why was this not done years ago? The controversy, however, does not stop at the strike itself. It begins with how the Nigerian government responded afterward. Shortly after news of the operation broke, the Nigerian government confirmed that it worked with the United States on the strike. Officials acknowledged that there was intelligence cooperation between Nigeria and the US, effectively admitting that Nigerian authorities provided information that helped identify the targets and their locations.
Good evening, gentlemen of the press. The federal government of Nigeria, in close coordination with the government of the United States of America, has successfully conducted precision strike operations against 2 major Islamic State ISIS terrorist enclaves located within the Bauni axis of Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State. Intelligence confirmed that these locations were being used as assembly and staging grounds by foreign ISIS elements infiltrating Nigeria from the Sahel region in collaboration with local affiliates to plan and execute large-scale terrorist attacks within Nigerian territory. The precision strike operations were executed between 12 midnight and 1:30 a.m. on Friday, December 26, 2025, following explicit approval by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. The operation was carried out under established command and control structures with the full involvement of the Armed Forces of Nigeria under the supervision of the Honorable Ministers of Defense and Foreign Affairs, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff. The strikes were launched from maritime platforms domiciled in the Gulf of Guinea after extensive intelligence gathering, operational planning, and reconnaissance. A total of 16 GPS-guided precision munitions were deployed using MQ-9 Reaper unmanned aerial platforms, successfully neutralizing the targeted ISIS elements attempting to penetrate Nigeria from the Sahel corridor. During the course of the operation, debris from expended munitions fell in Jabo, Tambuwa local government area of Sokoto State, and in Ofa, Kwara State, near the premises of a hotel. No civilian casualties were recorded in either location, and relevant authorities promptly secured the affected areas. The federal government of Nigeria reiterates its unwavering resolve to confront, degrade, and eliminate terrorist threats, particularly those posed by transnational extremist networks seeking to undermine Nigeria's sovereignty and security. Nigeria remains fully aligned with its strategic partners and friends of Nigeria in executing coordinated actions aimed at ensuring lasting peace, border security, and regional stability. The federal government of Nigeria assures all Nigerians that it remains firmly in control of the national security architecture and is fully committed to the protection of lives and property. Citizens are urged to remain calm and vigilant as decisive actions continue against all terrorist groups threatening the nation.
This confirmation is critical because intelligence sharing is not a casual process. It involves precise data, surveillance, verification, and authorization. You do not collaborate on an airstrike by accident. That admission alone should have closed the matter. Instead, it opened a much bigger problem. Soon after, Daniel Bwala, a senior government official and presidential spokesperson, made a public statement saying the government does not know the specific group or individuals the United States attacked. That statement immediately contradicted the earlier confirmation of cooperation. And this is where the narrative begins to unravel.
I'm sure that the American government have jurisdictional power over operation against ISIS and their ancillaries around the world. They may not have specific authorization by the Congress to fight terrorist organizations that are not designated as such. In Nigeria, both the Lakurawa, the Boko Haram, and the ancillaries have been designated as terrorist organizations. Therefore, we consider them all as part of the act of terrorism against the state. So I believe that that's the understanding that the American government had. But this is sketchy, right? In the coming days or hours, we are going to have more intelligence and more report about exact target, whether it were the members of the ISIS or were the members of Lakurawa or the members of the bandit. So, but whether ISIS, Lakurawa, or bandit, they are all.
If the Nigerian government provided intelligence for the operation, how can the same government claim ignorance about who was targeted? Intelligence is not vague. It is not something you supply in abstract terms. You don't hand over coordinates, movement patterns, and operational data without knowing exactly whose camp is being hit. So when a government official says they don't know who the US attacked, it creates a credibility gap that cannot be ignored. At this point, Nigerians are forced to consider uncomfortable possibilities. Either the government is not being truthful about its involvement, or different arms of the same government are operating without coordination, speaking independently, and contradicting each other on a matter as sensitive as foreign military action on Nigerian soil. Both scenarios are deeply troubling. If the government did not know who was targeted, then why confirm cooperation at all? And if the government did know, then why deny knowledge afterward? This inconsistency weakens public trust and raises concerns about accountability, transparency, and competence within the security and communication structure of the states. This issue goes beyond public relations. It touches directly on national sovereignty. Allowing a foreign military to conduct strikes within Nigeria is a serious decision. It requires clear authorization, clear objectives, and clear ownership of the outcome. When officials give conflicting accounts, it creates the impression of confusion, lack of control, or worse, deliberate obfuscation. There is also a deeper question Nigerians are asking quietly but persistently. Why did it take the involvement of the United States to neutralize bandit leaders who have terrorized Nigerians for years? Bello Tuji did not suddenly appear last month. His activities have been documented for a long time. Victims have cried out. Communities have protested. Reports have been filed. Yet, decisive action always seemed delayed, incomplete, or absent. Now, in a single strike involving foreign forces, multiple notorious figures are eliminated. That contrast is difficult to explain away. Some see this as proof that Nigeria has the intelligence but lacks the political will to act. Others see it as evidence of institutional weakness, where local forces are constrained by bureaucracy, corruption, or fear of backlash. Whatever the explanation, the optics are damaging. It reinforces the perception that Nigerians are only protected when external powers step in. The mixed messaging from government officials only makes matters worse. Instead of presenting a unified, transparent account of what happened, Nigerians are watching officials contradict one another in real time. That shifts attention away from the success of removing dangerous criminals and toward doubts about leadership coherence. It also raises concerns about internal accountability. If intelligence was shared, who approved it? Which agency coordinated with the US? Was the presidency fully briefed? Were the military and intelligence services aligned? These are not academic questions. They go to the heart of how Nigeria manages security in an era of rising insecurity. Another layer to this issue is public perception. Many Nigerians feel that banditry, terrorism, and violent crime have been handled selectively. Some criminals are pursued aggressively, while others seem untouchable for years. The sudden elimination of figures like Bello Tuji by a foreign strike revives suspicions that political considerations, negotiations, or quiet arrangements may have delayed action in the past. Whether those suspicions are true or not, the government's contradictory statements are fueling them. At the end of the day, the elimination of violent bandit leaders is something most Nigerians welcome. No one mourns men responsible for mass suffering. But success in security operations must be accompanied by clarity, honesty, and accountability. Without that, even victories create controversy. Right now, the focus is no longer just on the strike itself. It is on the government's inability to tell a consistent story. Did Nigeria know who was targeted or not? Did it provide intelligence or not? And if it did, why is an official spokesperson suggesting otherwise? Until these questions are answered clearly and directly, this operation will remain surrounded by suspicion rather than confidence. And in a country already struggling with trust in leadership, that is a cost Nigeria can ill afford.